and we are going to kick off another live mini mind masterclass. And these are 20 minutes long. They are inspired by what's going on just in my world, in my client's world, and I do it so that you can learn a little bit about what's going on with you so that you can follow through and achieve your goals. So, the title is Why Did I Not Do That? Do you ever hear yourself asking those questions? Why did I not do that? Why did I not follow through? If you're in business or working towards any kind of goal, saying things like that to yourself, it's going to be a question you're running through your mind quite a lot, and it comes from frustration. And if you have been on one of my calls before, and you've heard me speak before, you know that we talk a lot about the subconscious program inside of our minds called a paradigm. And it's easy just to blame everything on your paradigm. I like to get a little bit more specific than that because as you know, and if you don't know, a paradigm is multi-layered. It is built up of fixed ideas, habits, and beliefs. And it's about tapping into those to see what it is that actually needs addressed. Because it all comes together. So even if one is slightly out, could be a fixed idea, could be a fixed habit. This is what my job is as a coach, is to help you identify this, help my clients identify this, so you know what you're actually working on. You're not wasting time trying to fix this whole big problem. That's only one little part you need to focus on. And if you're joining me live, thank you very much. Welcome to this lovely Monday. Do say hello and let me know you're watching. Um, for some reason, my comments aren't working, so I can't see. So when I was thinking about this, like, why don't I follow through? Why don't I do that? It's like I said, easy to blame the paradigm, but what part is really at play? And the topic that I want to talk about today is perception. And perception is one of your higher mental faculties. And I teach my clients about this. We have many, but six to be exact. But I want to talk about perception. And perception is your ability to look at things. There's Pamela, there's Amy. Thank you so much. It's your ability to look at things. Is it a problem you're looking at, or is it a solution? Now, what I want to do is I'm going to draw out the mind. If you again are familiar with this, you're going to know. I like to draw the little stick person. So just give me a few seconds and I will get a new page up here. Okay, and share my screen. So this is what we're going to focus on, perception, your point of view. And the thing is, your perception can be habitual. So you can automatically, and when I talk about habits, it's doing something without any conscious effort. It's just like it's done before you even think about it. It's like getting up in the morning and you've like before you've even really thought about what you're doing, you've found your way into the bathroom and maybe you're brushing your teeth. That kind of habit. And it's exactly the same for your thinking, your perception. All of these things can be habitual. So let me just, there we go. Okay. So we have got our stick person, and this is how I explain the mind to people, because a lot of people don't realize your mind is an activity. Sometimes people think of the mind, they think, oh, it's your brain. It's not, it's an activity. So we've got this little stick person, and the head is big intentionally because it's the mind that controls so much of our lives. Okay? And it's divided in two sections. We've got our conscious part and our subconscious part. And Our conscious part is that's just our thinking mind. That's where we receive all our information from. These little sprigs are our five senses: hear, see, smell, touch, and taste. And feel free to draw along. Get your little pen and paper out. Okay? We've got these senses, and then our subconscious mind, that's our emotional mind. This is the part of the mind where our body takes instruction from, rightly or wrongly, towards our goals. That's where we get sabotaged. But it's in here we have our six high mental faculties. And I want to focus on perception. And I'll just put a B down there. Okay? So when it comes to perception, what we perceive of things, we've said it before, oh, I'm going to do this. And you don't follow through. And you're like, why did I not do that? And it could be a few things. And one of the things that was happening with some of my clients this week is that your perception is that it's going to take a long time to do. Okay. And you're thinking, oh, so it could be time. So if you think that something is going to take a long time to do, you're not exactly going to be springing out of your your body to get it done, okay? You might put it off. And that may be like where your perception is letting you down. It's like, oh, it's going to take a long time. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of time. If you're busy with your work or you've got lots of commitments and children and relationships, life in general is a commitment, isn't it? And so when our perception is allowing us to think it's going to take a lot of time, we can put things off. Okay. And that's where the sabotage comes in because often I kind of call it like time blindness. Sometimes, you can let me know in the comments, have you ever thought something was going to take a long time? You've put it off for so long, and then when you finally can't take it anymore and you're like, right, let's get this done. It takes like a fraction of the time. Fraction of the time. A personal story of mine about perception around money, because we can have them all around all sorts of things, was years ago, um, a previous business I had, and it was really growing fast. I was applying the material that I teach you and I teach my clients, and I was growing at a rate of knots. But there was one thing I hadn't done. I hadn't trademarked my business name. And my perception allowed me to think, oh, trademarking? Very expensive. I can't afford that. I can't afford that. So I saw it as an obstacle and I didn't even look near it. I just automatically said, can't afford it. That's it. Don't want to spend that money. Actually, it was more, I had the money, but I didn't want to spend it on trademarking. I was wanting to invest in other parts of my business. But what happened was, I allowed myself to remain in this state of fear because every day I was like, someday someone could steal my business name and trademark it, and they wouldn't be stealing it. They just got the trademark before me. I could wake up and after years of building a brand and success around a business name, it could all be gone. And I lived like that for about a year and a half, right? I'm sharing this because it doesn't matter how much you know this stuff. Doesn't matter how much, you always need somebody there to call you out. And I got to the stage where I was like, that is enough. That is enough. And I decided that holding on to that fear, which was created by my perception, which was completely wrong, I didn't have any evidence. I had no evidence that this trademark was going to cost a lot of money. I just made it up in my head. And we do this a lot. When people say to me, I don't have the money, if you're looking at something and you don't know how much it costs, don't surmise. Find out the answer. Let the quotes, let the website, let the person providing the service tell you what the price is. Don't guess because you're guessing from your paradigm. Okay? And if it's a money per paradigm, it's going to make things look really expensive. Okay? So there I was thinking it was going to cost me absolute thousands. But I got to the point, I'd grown my business and I had a few grand sitting there that I could spare for this trademark. And I thought, that's it. I'm going to do this. And I set myself a target and I was like, I'm going to get this done today. So there I went onto the website, onto the trademark and the government website, wrote through all the things, right? Ticked all the wee sections you have to do, and it's a wee bit palaver, but it's actually quite easy. So if you are someone who is looking at trademark, don't be put off. It is quite user friendly. There's a few things you need to know, and I got a little bit of help. Anyway, went down to the bottom to pay, right? Kind of like hiding behind my hands, right? Like, ooh, I wonder how much it's going to cost. £175, guys. It was £175. I thought it was going to cost thousands of pounds. Now, when I tell you, I could have kicked myself after a year and a half of fear and dread and panic that I could have eliminated if I really questioned my perception. £175. £175. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. Because your perception on something could be that small little thing that is keeping you from the next part of your goal. And this is something I helped a client with this week. Actually, it was last week. This is Monday. Time flies. And one little thing that they thought was going to take a week. Now they're very busy building an empire. And I challenged them on that, their perception of this, perception of the time it's going to take. Challenged them hard because I was somebody who suffered with a negative time paradigm. I thought things were going to take too much time, or I vastly underestimated how much time something would take, and then I find myself dragged into something for days and weeks and months. So it can work at either ends of the scale, okay? So I understood I could read the signals, so I started to poke. I started to dig in there with them, and literally like a switch, they're like, yeah, you're right. I don't know how long it's going to take because I've never tried. That was the thing. It's one thing to say, oh, I tried that, it's going to take a bit of time, but to have never tried this taking this action and allowing your perception to go, yeah, it's going to take too long, is madness. It is madness when you think about it. Remember me? Feared out and worried for a year and a half, like waking up in cold sweats thinking someone might steal my name. £175 is price to pay to get rid of that. And maybe half an hour of my time. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is I had literally tapped into this. I had upset their paradigm enough for them to go, actually, you're right, which I always am. But it was enough to get them shifted into action and to really go, I need to address this now. And when they did, guys, wait till you hear this. When they did, and I shared this one actually in this group earlier this week or last week, it took them a couple of hours to complete this task, not the week and the days that they thought. And within 48 hours, they had taken in 8 grand of business. Unexpected, unplanned. And the thing is, I was thinking, if you've been putting this off for a year, how much does this cost you? Now, that's a very painful reminder. However, it's something, especially when you work with me as a coach, I don't sugarcoat it because we've got to learn these things. And if we don't go through the learnings, we don't grow. And therefore, we're just getting the same. So I want you to have a little think about your perception. How are you looking at things? Are you seeing everything as a problem? It's going to cost too much money, don't have the time, energy, don't have the knowledge or experience, like it shows up in all forms, or are you looking at it as a target? My favorite quote that I created myself is turn your obstacles into targets and watch the game change. And it does change because it drives you, because you're driven to overcome something, not to avoid something. Totally different energy. Okay? So those two stories for you. You can sit in fear for a year and a half and literally talk yourself out of so many, nights where you can sleep well, or you can stand in an action with your perception and let it cost you. Like, we didn't even get into detail with my client what that could have cost them over that year period. Because it's not worth thinking about, to be honest, because you'd probably feel very sick. But if you're thinking, well, if they took in £8,000 worth of business within 48 hours after doing it, you put that over a year, we're talking tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds. Okay. And the most important part of this is, like I said at the start, our our paradigms is built up of so many things. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here a wee second. A paradigm is made up of so many layers, and we often are looking for the big thing. Like, what's the big thing? We're looking for the big thing to fix about a paradigm. But sometimes, and I'm like a little sniffer dog when it comes to seeking it out, it's the little tiny things that actually weigh on our minds more. They carry more mental load because they're small. We think this is insignificant, but they're there. They're there in your back of your mind. And I'm sure you can think of something you're like, I know I need to do that. And I've been putting it off. Let this be your sign from the universe. Today is the 9th of June. Get that small thing done this week, no matter what. And that was where I left my client. I was like, you're going to get that done this week, no matter what. No matter what. If you don't get anything else done apart from this one thing, that's all that matters. So you can make a little mental list and you can let me know in the comments, have you got something in your mind? You're going, I need to do that. You don't have to tell me what it is, but I'd love to know if this sparked something. Has it sparked a reminder? Because here's the deal with these things. See all these little mental to-do lists? They don't disappear. They remain there until you get them done, or you've replaced them with something else that eradicates them completely. But they don't disappear on their own. You will be carrying those little mental loads. So, like, see these to-do lists we read out, they're actually not a bad thing. It's better than one piece of paper than weighing down your mind. But pick one this week, whatever it is. It could be something. I always think, things around the house, you need to get done around the house, and you keep putting it off and keep putting it off. And when you do it, it takes 5 minutes. An example I would say, like, perhaps you've got a lamp in your house and the bulb is wet, and you keep saying, oh, I must get a new bulb for that. I must get a new bulb for that. And you don't do it. Go and get the bulb, okay? Go get it today, write a list, go to the shop, go get that bulb. And you might have different ones, but whatever it is, that's been that housekeeping thing, maybe it's a button that's fallen off your coat. Like, you might be laughing at some of these examples, but these are the things that can really annoy you because every time you go to lift the coat, you're like, oh, I need to get that button done. And then you put it back in the wardrobe, right? Does your car need an oil change? Book it in today. MOTs, book it in today. Like, whatever it is, don't put it off. This is your friendly reminder to tick off that to-do list. Challenge your perception about the time, the money, the effort that it takes, and follow through no matter what. You will thank me later. And that's where I'm going to wrap up today because I like to keep these sessions to 20 minutes. Thank you so much for waiting on me this morning. I know I was a little bit late coming on, and I want to wish you an absolutely amazing week. You can let me know in the comments when you get your thing done this week. Come back, hold yourself accountable, share, let us celebrate you, give you a high five, and I will see you all again really soon for the next Mini Mind Masterclass. Bye, everyone.